Today, today is a beautiful day. Today is the day that honestly many of us thought we'd never see. Today is the day that has been rumored and speculated about since we were kids, or since my generation was kids. I grew up just thinking this day would never come. And the day that I'm talking about is Star Wars Day. That's right. In just a few hours, I'm going to be going to see Star Wars Episode 7 with some of my dearest friends. I never thought I'd be able to say that sentence. Going to see Star Wars Episode 7. Like many of you, Star Wars has been a part of my life since I was a very, very small child. It's been a big part of my life, all of my life, honestly. It's ever since I was a little kid, I have been exposed to the films. They were some of my father's favorite movies. My older brother loved Star Wars. Both of my older sisters, they loved Star Wars. All of my life, I've been around it, and, well, all of my life, we've always talked about the rumor of there being an Episode 7, a new trilogy, a sequel trilogy, that would continue the story after Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Now, I wanted to just do a little video documenting this moment, because this moment right now, as I said, is something I never really thought I'd see. I don't have a script for this video. I'm honestly going straight from the heart. Star Wars is something that has been with me all of my life. And, you know, it's always been there. It's just this magical thing that's always been there in many of our lives. Now, I have memories of Star Wars from, well, obviously, the beginning of my life. As I said, watching the films with my siblings, and then the Star Wars games, those were a very, very big part of my childhood, whether it be watching my brother play the Battle of Hoth in Shadow of the Empire, or racing a pod, you know, in Star Wars Pod Racer, Episode 1 Pod Racer on the N64. Then, of course, the magical moment of getting Lego Star Wars for Christmas, and then playing it for several years with my nephew, and him always running around as General Grievous and me as Jango Fett, his favorite character from the prequel trilogy and my favorite character from the prequel trilogy. Then Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront happened, specifically Battlefront 2, and, you know, just begging my older brother to play his PSP so I can play Star Wars Battlefront and run around as, you know, a clone trooper and fight the droids. I know that's the wrong movie era for what a lot of people care about, but that's what I grew up with. That was my childhood, was the Clone Wars era films. And then, The Force Unleashed. Well, that was another one that was mainly my brother. Watching my brother play The Force Unleashed, watching him be so excited to find out about The Force Unleashed 2, and then play that, and, well, you know what a fan does after they play Force Unleashed 2. It's just been such an important thing in my life, all of my life. I probably should have grabbed it before this video, but, like, I have a little Stormtrooper sitting on my shelf. I don't even know how visible my shelf is back there. But I have him propped up on my Persona 4 Dancing All Night Collector's Edition box. He's holding a Hylian shield from a Link action figure and an AK-47 from a G.I. Joe. I have a Stormtrooper over there, and then over on my other shelf I have Star Wars Micro Machines ships, whether it be from the Battle of Hoth set that my dad and I bought, the Death Star set my dad and I found at a flea market. I have my brother's old collection of Star Wars ships. It's, you know, there's Star Wars everywhere in my home, just lurking around the corner. It's just how it is. Now, with Star Wars Episode 7, it I don't really know where to begin. It's here. I'm not sure that I'm ready for this day. Because as I stated earlier, it's Star Wars Episode 7 to me is a very powerful thing. It's something, we've all talked about for years. Since, what was it, 2005 or 2006 is when Episode 3 came out, I believe. And that was nearly a decade ago. So we've talked about the possibility of there being an Episode 7 for years. My dad and I used to talk about it. My dad and I, we used to talk for hours and hours about what Star Wars 7 could be. 7, 8, and 9. What the story could be. What it might be. Now recently, I tried to watch the original trilogy because it's been a while since I've watched it. I actually had not seen any of the original trilogy since my father passed away when I was 11 years old in 2010. Now, watching those movies, I'll be honest, I fell asleep watching Episode 5, and I haven't made it to... I've been so busy the last few days, I haven't been able to go back and watch the rest and then watch Episode 6. But I watched A New Hope a couple days ago, and it was the first time I'd watched it in well over 5 years. And it was magical. Not only was it great re-experiencing that film, it was great bringing back all the memories of course, watching A New Hope with my dad, and if I remember correctly, A New Hope was his favorite film, or favorite Star Wars film. So we would have conversations and talks about, A New Hope, and just the connections between Episode 3 and Episode 4, the way that the trilogies connect and the gap between them. There was just always something to talk about when Star Wars was the topic of conversation, honestly. It's just how it was. But I watched A New Hope recently, and it was just an awesome experience to be able to re-experience it almost. I waited just long enough, you start to forget some of the little things. You really get to experience it again. That was fantastic. Now, as for tonight, as for actually seeing The Force Awakens, not sure I'm ready for that. I'm gonna miss it just being speculation. Now, I have, quite frankly, skipped out on most of the trailers. I haven't been watching them. I watched the first trailer too, but I decided that, I just want to see the film. I've had my ticket for a couple months. I just want to see it. Now, who knows whether or not it's gonna be good or bad. I'm just assuming it's gonna be good. It looks good, and that's exciting. Now, I don't know if it'll be a good Star Wars movie, but hey, I'm sure it'll be a good action movie, like a good sci-fi action movie, and that's always fun. So I know I'm gonna have a good time tonight. I don't really know what I'm trying to say here. I know I had a general idea of what I was going to say in this video, and honestly, I got a little emotional thinking about it. Hope I've kind of conveyed a message on what Star Wars means to me. I didn't do a good job of it, but this is it. I just wanted to capture this moment. I'm only a few hours away from meeting up with a couple friends and then riding to the movie theater with them to actually get our tickets printed out and in hand. We have our order confirmation from a couple months ago. And standing in line, waiting to see the film. We're only a few hours from that, and that's incredible. May the Force be with you.